Ade Oladipo here in Saudi Arabia with Lawrence the Sauce Okolie. Lawrence, did you just get in today?
Yeah, I got in today, yeah.
Excited to be here, Lawrence, for what people are saying is one of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight this year, I'd say, but definitely one of the biggest fights.
No, definitely excited, you know what I mean? You can feel the energy, you know, a lot of big people already out here. All the Saudi Arabian sort of people, I can feel the energy, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Getting the vibe, or gauging the vibe back in London, it seems people are excited but also nervous as well, considering what happened with the first fight. Is that you as well, excited but also nervous for AJ?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I obviously have full confidence in him. As long as someone's confident in themselves, I always have extra belief. But when I'm fighting, I'm very confident within myself. But I have control to some degree of what's happening in the ring. But with this one, I have no say. I'm not a ref. I'm not a fighter. I'm just watching, hoping for the best. So I believe he's going to win, but obviously I'm still nervous.
How do you think the fight will play out stylistically? The first fight, people were saying maybe AJ fighting on the back foot wasn't good. Ruiz taking centre circle. How do you think the fight will play out?
I think it'll be similar to how the first 3 rounds were. Bit cagey, because no matter what Ruiz is, you know, he is what he is. He's not this all action, guns blazing, come forward fighter. If you actually watch, he's sort of like tucks up well and sort of walks his feet into place where he can let his fast shots go. But I feel like the mistake AJ made the last one is obviously holding his feet for too long. But in this one, I think he'll still hold his feet to generate the power, 1 or 2 shots, and then like maybe make a little move or a little adjustment. And then when he starts getting to Ruiz, because I think he'll bust him up if he's allowed to hit him consistently, he'll break him down, especially where Ruiz is a bit heavier this time. So I don't know what that's going to do for his movement. And yeah, I believe AJ's going to get the stoppage.
What do you make of AJ's lighter weight? A lot of people were gasping when he came on the scale, 16-13. We haven't seen that since the Olympics in 2012. I think his lightest weight as a professional is probably 17-4 against Joseph Parker. Was you shocked about the 16-13?
Obviously, I know some stuff that's going on in camp. So, but I was happy to see it because obviously I feel like, it helps 2 ways. Some people get punch resistance from being heavier. Some people get punch resistance from being fitter. And I feel like AJ is the type of person that's more fitness, because he's not a stocky, dense leg, like taking the shots with the weight. So I think it'll help his punch resistance, and also I think just in terms of athleticism, we saw in the Olympics and the early pro career, he was letting off rapid combos, getting people out of there. Obviously, it's against less opposition, but I thought it will come in handy because he might need to obviously match Ruiz speed for speed.
Talk about the pressure of this fight. Obviously, us as fight fans, we never really understand the pressure when it comes to big fights like this. You've been in big fights. How much pressure is AJ feeling right now, and how do you handle that going into a fight?
I mean, everyone's different, but AJ is quite a level-headed guy. He's been making millions of pounds for years and has always been able to maintain that level of composure and just consistency. So I feel obviously the pressure is there because not just AJ, I want AJ to win. People want AJ to win, and the people that don't want him to win, you kind of want to win to laugh at in their face kind of thing. So I feel like there's definitely pressure, but he handles it well. We've seen it time and time again. This is a big fight, but he's been in bigger fights where, you know what I mean, I don't know about the Klitschko fights. Yeah. When he was boxing Dylan, there was rivalry. When he's boxing Parker, unification, you know, and they were talking about how chin he is and so on and so forth. So he could be calm.
Do you think ultimately he just gets the job done tomorrow? Is it a case of having to get the job done a certain way, look spectacular? Is it a case of just get that W, get your belts back?
I mean, I think you're asking the wrong person. I feel like it's always about just getting the job done personally. So even if he wins the most boring fight in the world, I personally, I'm going to be over the moon. I'll cry, happy tears. I'll get on the plane happy. You know what I mean? I'm the type, I don't want to see him in a beautiful fight and come out unstuck. I'd rather see him win. Just that's it.
Let's talk about your own career that I follow closely, a career that I think's amazing. I think people kind of underestimate what you've done, British, European, Commonwealth. It looks like we could have a world title shot next. Can you reveal, are we going to get that fight next? Are we in negotiations?
Yeah, we're in negotiations, but negotiations are already going quite strong.
Are you surprised yourself how quick you've done this? I mean, a lot of people would have thought maybe you might have got the 20th fight, 25th fight. You've only had, 14 fights it is?
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, if you look back at interviews that I did, 2017, 2016 after Olympics, I said, I want to win a world title before the next Olympics. I'm going to win all of this stuff. I put up a hit list of the top 10 British fighters before I'd even signed to turn pro, saying I'm coming. Like, a lot of people think I just talk for the sake of talking and that. you know, I genuinely believe what I say when I say it, and I'll go for it. Like, I've shown, obviously, you know what I mean? For me, it's like, the way there is important. I could maybe have waited till now to go for a British title or whatever. I'm in a bit more polished, or, do you know what I'm saying, or whatever. I just feel like I've got the ability to win fights, so I should be in as big a fight as I can win. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Even if it's not like the most beautiful. Because I look back at Chamberlain fight, 2018. That was after 1 year as a professional, and 8 fights, or it was my 7th or 8th fight, and I was in a high pressure fight where, you know, I had social media, I had O2 headline, all of that. Do you know what I mean? And that's real. Do you know what I mean? As I'm walking around Hackney, you know, they don't say nothing, and I know what it means. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I had to deal with that, and then even just like coming to grips with my style as a professional. Even now, I'm still doing it, because it's like, as an amateur, a lot of stuff that happens in the pros that can't happen in amateurs. It's 3 rounds of just explosion. You know, in amateurs, it's like you're throwing everything, they're throwing everything, and it's a sprint. It's a sprint. So there's no time for holding or grappling or conserving your energy or stuff like that. Your one thought is landing as many punches as you can in 3 rounds. Referees are very much split, back to work, split. There's no, do you know what I mean? There's no inside work, to be honest. So then, kind of diving into boxing journeyman, where if you watch me box a journeyman, you see what happens every time.
Yeah.
It's over within 3 or 4 rounds of just this quick, clinical work. But then when you box like other fighters who know how to fight, people, I generally just believe, I've never felt a punch from myself, but people feel my power or my presence and just say to themselves, oh, you have a choice here. You can either carry on boxing with him, or you can just get on his chest. And if you listen to people that I box as cornered, like, obviously I have to accept, this is what I say about learning about myself as a pro, is that I can blame my opponents, the world can blame me, whatever. The reality is, I know within myself, everyone that I box now is going to try and get on my chest, because it's safest, because from distance, I'm long, I'm athletic, and I know what I'm doing in terms of positioning and timing. I've got good spatial awareness. So people are unsuccessful, they get frustrated. So they go back to the corner, or they training camp. Get on his chest, you slip the first couple punches, get on his chest. So now, I've obviously got the burden, because I've had 2 fights early on where it was very scrappy and I was excessively holding, for example, in the mat. In the Chamberlain fight, not so much. Although it was boring, I don't think I was holding too much. I felt like it was just scrappy. And I watched that fight back and say, wow, like, that one, absolutely.
I was there for that one as well.
Yeah, absolutely excessive holding. I can't sit here and deny it. I'm not going to pretend that it didn't happen. It happened. I don't watch that fight back much, except to work on stuff. So it's like that. Then I can't remember what I was going with, but fuck, man.
Do you think that, look, you mentioned Matty Askin, do you think Isaac Chamberlain, 2 fights you admit maybe the holding was excessive? Do you think you're judged just based on those 2? People don't look at the other 12 fights?
Yeah, no, I just feel like after them 2 fights, it's like, until something happens, maybe I win a world title. Maybe not. Maybe my whole career, I don't know. It's going to be, it's like sort of the easy thing to say. Yeah. And also for opponents, it's the easy thing to say. When they get in the ring, people realise, like, I spar world-class fighters, and no one I've ever sparred has said anything other than, wow, you're going to be a world champion, wow, you're this, wow. Like, people who experience it realise it's not nice, it's not fun, it's you know what I mean? I know what I'm doing. So, like, for example, my last fight, I watched that back and say, if you compare it to the Matty Askin fight, it's a completely different fight.
I thought that was a great performance against Ngannou.
And it's like, but people will still look at it. Some people who aren't educating themselves with my style, or, you know, just understanding certain maneuvers. It's like, in the Matty Askin fight, am I able to go in with you here?
Yeah.
So in the Matty Askin fight, I felt like I was like, he would come in, dip under shots, get his head on my chest. I'm inexperienced in that scenario. I don't know what to do. Oh my God, let me stop him. I double underhook, because you get both your hands under. Now, I've done stuff that I don't show, like jiu-jitsu, etc., like real stuff to work on positioning.
Really?
So yeah. So when people come in, if you watch the fights now, I don't hold like this. I get my arm in a particular place. So, like, for example, I get my shoulder on their chest, or I put the weight down on this part, and I maneuver them in certain ways. So you won't see me double underhooking. You might see me get one, but you're allowed to put one in and work the other hand.
Yeah.
Do you get where I'm coming from? So I'm doing stuff within. That's why referees aren't. What are you doing? Because it's all within the concept, and I can feel.
You're allowed to do it.
You're allowed to do it. So, like, I'm not saying it's the most brilliant thing to watch, but I know what it's doing to my opponents. So you watch Ngabu, and Ngabu was undefeated before he boxed. He was bashing guys in.
Yep.
When he gets in against me, he looks like he can't do much.
Yeah.
Matt Askin, before I boxed Matt Askin was beating all the domestic opponents comfortably. I remember watching him thinking, wow, that's the guy after box for the British title? I don't know, do you know what I'm saying? But by the time we fight, it doesn't look like that. Cool, I did whatever. Chamberlain, the most stylistic, fast. When we box, nullified, and it's all the Okolie show. Like every time I fight, it's all me. Like I don't think I ever look like I'm gonna lose in the fight.
I don't think that either, by the way. I've said this, and I'll be honest with you, I've said I think Okolie's 60% of what he can be, yet he's destroyed the British and European scene just like that. So when we get to see another 10%, what's it going to be like?
I agree, and that's what I'm trying to work on. Like I don't sit at home and think you cracked it. Yeah. I'm genuinely trying to work. I genuinely love Evander Holyfield. I genuinely love these exciting punch fighters, but I don't think it's my makeup mentally. So my makeup mentally is very much like I know I'm strong and I know I hit hard, but I also don't really like the whole idea of I hit you, you hit me, we have a war, like, and then people because I see it happen. People, I don't want to say any names right now, but there's people who, you know, fan friendly, and they're already slurring, or like they have these amazing fights and they lose, and then no one cares. Oh, he's definitely going to be a world champion. No one can't say that about me. I'm going to go for a world title next. No one can't say. I mean, what people say, listen, he's going to get found out when he boxes at British level. Yeah. If European, Ngabu's the one. All right, this guy's the one. Then I'll go on and win. Then, after I've done that, I'm going to unify. Then it's people are just going to have to come around to accept, you know what, he's learning, but he's winning, just comfortably. So we'll see. I'd like to see what happens with my next fight, and then we can go from there.
Last couple of questions, Lawrence. Thank you for taking the time with us. What do you make of Glowacki as an opponent? Experience, been in there. Great fight against Marco Huck a few years ago. Upset there. Last fight against Breedis, a bit unlucky. Elbows, punches after the bell. What do you make of him as an opponent?
Yeah, it's good. I've watched all of his, all the fights are online now. I spend a good bit of time watching. I think he's good. His only legitimate loss is to Uzit. Yeah. Obviously, he had the last one with Breedis. Hopefully, that's really dented him. Yeah, I'm saying. But probably not. He looks like a tough man.
Looks like a tough man. He looks like a Eastern Europeans are tough.
So I think that's what it'll be. I personally feel like I'm gonna hurt him. I'm gonna hurt him. But in terms of his mindset, I don't think it's gonna be I hurt him and he bottles it. I think he's not really. We don't know what's gonna happen in the fight, but he hasn't shown in all of his fights to be like a sort of come forward like I'm gonna duck under, get in your chest. And he's a southpaw, so southpaws don't really box like that usually. I don't know what he's gonna do for this camp, but so I can't see it being the usual Ngabu trying to get my chest. Matt Askin trying to get. Do you know what I mean? I can see him trying to box, semi-box at range and come in with big, single shots, double jabs, less. But I'll be able to nullify that quite comfortably, I think. And I think I'll land, good left hooks, good right hands. I feel like I lost to a southpaw as an amateur in James Branch in 2000 and something, and I spent the whole year fixated on him. And southpaw. So I really did a lot of practice as an amateur, and then since then I haven't lost to a southpaw. So I expect to keep that going.
Do we know where and when? Is it going to be O2 Arena?
America.
Really, in America? Yeah.
I personally prefer it to be in America than in London. As much as you want to win, I'd rather maybe come back as a world champion and just show that I'm not really, as much as like, okay, I'm a matchroom fighter and this and another. Throughout I've never been sort of like the star boy or not. Do you know what I mean? I've had to kind of become British champion, I haven't had the sort of fanfare like Olympic medalist or like the golden boy or nothing like that. I feel like I've just had to just kind of graft, take the good with the bad, take the stick, keep going and maintain composure. So I like to win a world title abroad. I think that would be better for me as as a person, just, like foreign soil. You know what I'm saying?
Does that bother you a bit? I saw after your last fight against Ngaba, you had Eddie Hearn ringside, and you said, Eddie, are you going to push me? Are you going to promote me a bit? Does it bother you that you maybe not getting the push that you think you deserve?
It doesn't bother me, but it's more so like there's a point where you take note, because as much as it's not really important, because I'm obviously doing what I'm doing, it's more so like, it's just, okay, a fan says something, or someone online, or like a pundit, or I can take it. Do you know what I'm saying? I listen, because I say they're honest about other things, so maybe there's some truth in it. Maybe it isn't the best watch. Maybe, do you know what I mean? But when it's like, listen, you're my promoter, or you're in sort of the team, that you're meant to promote it, even if it's rubbish. Promote it. You know what I'm saying? What am I? I'm 14 fights, undefeated, but somehow, being the worst boxer in the world, I'm British. I've won the British, won the Commonwealth, unified them two, won the WBA Continental, headlined the O2, won the European, and I'm now mandatory for the world title, and I'm taking it. Like, I'm not joking, I'm not messing around, I'm really doing it. So, sell that. Do you know what I'm saying? Just when they talk about who's the next crop of stars, I'm gonna be a world champion. Talk about it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't hide my ambitions or my where I'm trying to go. So push out there. I think obviously now I hear them talking a bit different and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, they get to a point where you can't deny it no more. Do you know what I mean? When I win a world title, I'm a world champion. You know what I mean?
I agree. Lawrence Okolie, for me, I will keep pushing it. I will keep talking about it. I'm proud of what you're doing, not just as a guy from East London, but a Nigerian as well. Keep pushing, brother. Well done. Congratulations. Future world champion here, Lawrence Okolie, The Sauce. Thanks for talking to us.